So, good morning, students. This is going to be a discussion on the lesson True Height. You know that it is about a an athlete who is blind and who has achieved great in his uh, career. So, let us see what we have in the lesson. The lesson begins like this: True height. What is it? What is the meaning of true height? The you know height which is true, like it's not about the height that he is jumping, but the height that he has reached in his life. So that is more important. So he has reached a great height in terms of his what shall I say, achievement in um, achievement as an individual, and as he set an example for many people who are handicapped. You might have had some lessons on TV about the same lesson, that it's about an athlete whose name is Michael Stone. Michael Stone is blind, and he is uh, playing athletics. Here we have you know what pole vault, POLEVAULT, pole vault. It's a game that he plays. One has to use a pole in order to jump high into the air, and so that he may compete with the others, and he may be winning if at all he jumps the greatest height. Anyway, let's see. The story talks about the feelings of an athlete as he pursues his dream. Read about a nerve wracking day in Michael Stone's life as he prepares to take the ultimate test of his sports career. It's an awe inspiring achievement that will leave you breathless. Really, this is a wonderful discussion on this particular athlete whose name is Michael Stone. His palms were sweating. He needed a towel to dry his grip. A glass of ice water quenched his thirst but hardly cooled his intensity. The astroturf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. Remember this, that he was competing in the National Junior Olympics. The pole was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. The stands were still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. The race was over an hour earlier. Still, the audiences were there in the stadium itself. Why? Because they had such an exciting, uh, game that they could witness. Because he set a world record. Who? This Michael Stone. The pole vault is truly the glamorous event of any track and field competition. The sportsman combines the grace of a gymnast with the strength of a bodybuilder. Pole vaulting also has the element of flying, and the thought of flying as high as a two-storied building is a mere fantasy to anyone watching such an event. Today, it's not only Michael Stone's reality and dream, it is his quest. So this second line is very very important because you have a question on this particular line. Okay, it's not about the questions that you have to worry. It's about the story, and it's about the message that you can get from the lesson. That is what is more important for you. Anyway, uh, as you know that questions may be asked on the important points only. So the questions are also important. Sportsman combines the grace of a gymnast with the strength of a bodybuilder. So, sportsman combines what? The grace of a gymnast. He should have, the grace of a gymnast. Gymnastics? Uh, you know, Jumping high into the air and, doing some feats and, falling onto the ground. Um that is what. And, he should have, such a grace means, beauty of that gymnast and strength of a bodybuilder. And this athlete, this pole vault player, pole vaulter should have, these two qualities. One is the grace of a gymnast, and the second one, the strength of a bodybuilder. He should have the strength of a bodybuilder. So he has both these qualities. As long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamed of flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. Her stories were always the ones that described the land from a bird's eye view. Her excitement and passion for details made Michael's dreams full of color and beauty. Michael had this one recurring dream Michael had this one recurring dream. He would be running down a country road. He could feel the rocks and chunks of dirt at his feet. As he raced down the golden lined wheat fields, he would always outrun the locomotives passing by. He would begin soaring like an eagle. See, this is also very important that his mother had such a passion that her son should fly high into the air. So she used to tell him the stories about flying and uh, what when you look at the world or the earth from a bird's eye view, how it looks like. So she used to describe these things to her child, to Michael Stone, when he was a child. So he grew up listening to his mother stories, and he used to run in his fields. He used to outrun even the locomotives like train and other vehicles like that. Where he flew would always coincide with his mother's stories. His dad, on the other hand, was not a dreamer. Birdstone was a hardcore realist. He believed in hard work and sweat. His motto: "If you want something, work for it." His father was something different. As we had discussed that his mother was a dreamer. That she had dreams for her son, Michael Stone. And whereas his father was a realist. Okay, so he used to say, when you want something, you have to work for it. That is his motto. So both these qualities, made him such a special uh, individual, or a special man, like that. He had some dreams, as his mother used to insist on. And even he was a believer in hard work, as his father suggesting to him that if you want something, you have to work for it. So he had both these qualities, one of a mother and the other of his father. Okay. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. He began a very careful, regimented weightlifting program. He worked out every other day with weights, with some kind of running work on alternate days. The program was carefully monitored by Michael's coach, trainer, and father. Michael's dedication, determination, and discipline was a coach's dream. Besides being an honest student, Michael Stone continued to help his parents with their farm chores. Michael's persistence in striving for perfection was not only his obsession but his passion. So he was working for perfection. And uh, what his coach was, his dad himself when he was a child. So these two important things we have in the paragraph. All right. Mildred Stone, his mother. His father's name is Birdstone, Bertstone, Birdstone, and his mother was Mildred Stone, Mildred, Mildred Stone. Michael's mother wished that he could relax a bit more and be that free dreaming little boy. On one occasion, she attempted to talk to him and his father about this, but his dad quickly interrupted, smiled, and said, "You want something? Work for it." So, uh, his mother, as we discussed, that she believed in dreaming, and his mother, uh, his father believed in hard work, like that. So, on one occasion, she attempted to talk to him as his father about this, but his dad quickly interrupted, smiled, and said, so she was, someday talking to her child, Michael Stone, about her dream, and whereas his father came in and, and said, no, if you want to realize your dream, you should work for it, he was saying. All of Michael's worlds today seem to be the reward for his hard work. If Michael Stone wasn't surprised, thrilled, or arrogant about clearing the bar at 17 feet, you couldn't tell. As soon as he landed on the inflated landing mat and with the crowd on its feet, Michael immediately began preparing for his next attempt at flight. He seemed oblivious of the fact that he had just surpassed his personal best by 3 inches and that he was one of the final two competitors in the pole vaulting event at the National Junior Olympics. So, that. Uh, Michael was hardworking and he was surpassing his own records. He was setting new records for himself, and he was jumping, more than 17 feet. All right, Michael cleared the bar at 17 feet and 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches. Again, he showed no emotion. So he was, doing better and better and better. So 17 feet, and after that, 17 feet 2 inches, then 17 feet 4 inches, like that. He was, going ahead with his own records. Michael needed to clear this wall to win. A miss would get him second place, nothing to be ashamed of. But Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning the first place. So he never wanted to win the second place. He always wanted to be on top. He rolled over and did his ritual of 3 finger tipped push ups. He found his pole stood and stepped on the runway that led to the most challenging event of his 17-year-old life. The runway felt different this time. It started him for a brief moment. Then it all hit him like a wet bale of hay. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. That is only 1 inch of the national record, he thought. So, in one competition, he, jumped 17 feet. Uh, yeah. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. That is only 1 inch of the national record. So 1 inch lower, less than the world record. The intensity of the moment filled his mind with anxiety. He began shaking off the tension from his body. It wasn't working. He became more tense. Why is this happening to me now? He thought. He began to get nervous. Fear would be a more accurate description. What was he going to do? He had never experienced these feelings. Then, out of nowhere and from the deepest depths of his souls, he envisioned his mother. Why now? What was his mother doing in his thought at a time like this? It was simple. His mother always used to tell him whenever he felt tense, anxious, or even scared to take deep breaths. So he did. Along with shaking the tension from legs, he gently laid his pole at his feet. He began to stretch out his arm and upper body. So this is all the description how he was trying to jump and set a world record, and he was experiencing a strange feeling that he was excited at a moment, and even he was thinking of his mother, what she was dreaming for him when he was a child, and he could remember his mother's words, and even his father's realistic view also, that he had to work harder in order to get something great in his career. As he began sprinting down the runway, sprinting means one running down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the visions of the golden wheat fields seemed to fill his thoughts. When he took a deep breath, it happened. He began to fly. His takeoff was effortless. Michael Stone was flying, just in, just as in his childhood dreams. Only this time he knew he wasn't dreaming. This was real. Everything seemed to be moving in slow motion. The air around him was the purest and freshest he had ever sensed. Michael was soaring with the majesty of an eagle. It was either the eruption of the people in the strands of the thumb of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. On his back, with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only envision the smile on his mother's face. He knew his dad was probably smiling too, even laughing. Bert would always do that when he got excited, smile and then sort of giggle. What he didn't know was that his dad was hugging his wife and crying. He was crying harder than Mildred had ever seen before. She also knew he was crying the greatest tears of all, tears of pride. So as he jumped high and he landed on the ground, then all was exciting, and his father was hugging his wife, crying and crying, that she had never seen him before. So that was something extraordinary that happened at that time. What Michael was immediately swarmed with the people hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. He later went on that day to clear 17 feet 6.5 inches, a national and international junior Olympics record. So that was a national junior Olympics record. He set at the time 17 feet 6.5 inches high. He jumped. With all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations, Michael's life would never be the same. It wasn't just because he won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record, and it was not because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because Michael Stone was blind. The last line is very, very important, that he was a blind man who could achieve such a feat, that he could jump high as 17 feet 6.5 inches, which was a national junior Olympics world record. So everybody congratulated him, and he felt very happy that he made his parents very proud of what he achieved. That's all with this lesson. Read the lesson thoroughly, and if any word that you don't understand, see in the glossary. If you don't find in the glossary, go to the dictionary and find the meaning for yourself. Still, if you don't understand, ask me on WhatsApp. I'll be helping you with the meanings. Okay, and do the worksheet on the same lesson, and keep reading. Send me your answers on WhatsApp. All the best. See you.